Have you ever paused amidst the noise of daily life and asked yourself, am I truly walking with God? It's a profound question, one that invites reflection, vulnerability, and a willingness to assess the state of your soul. In a world overflowing with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what it means to live in harmony with God's will. Yet, throughout history, countless seekers have asked this question and found answers that not only shaped their spiritual journey, but also transformed the way they viewed the world. C.S. Lewis, the beloved author and Christian apologist, grappled with such questions in his own life. Once a staunch atheist, Lewis underwent a radical conversion that changed not only his beliefs, but also the way he lived, thought, and wrote. Through works such as Mere Christianity, the Screwtape Letters, and the Chronicles of Narnia, Lewis shared insights into the human experience, the nature of faith, and what it means to walk closely with God. His reflections on grace, obedience, and the pursuit of truth continue to inspire generations. Lewis was not afraid to admit that walking with God is a journey fraught with challenges. In Mere Christianity, he writes, "The real problem of the Christian life comes where people do not usually look for it. It comes the very moment you wake up each morning. All your wishes and hopes for the day rush at you like wild animals, and the first job each morning consists simply in shoving them all back, in listening to that other voice, taking that other point of view, letting that other, larger, stronger, quieter life come flowing in." This struggle to prioritize God's voice over the clamor of our own desires is at the heart of what it means to walk with Him. But what does it look like when someone truly walks with God? Are there tangible signs that reveal this sated connection? Lewis believes so. He often spoke of the evidence of faith manifesting in the believer's character, actions, and relationships. He emphasized that the transformation brought about by walking with God is not sudden or flashy, but gradual and deeply rooted. It's a journey that refines the soul and reveals the presence of God in every facet of life. Walking with God is not about perfection, nor is it about adhering to a rigid set of rules. It is, as Lewis described, the continual act of surrender, choosing daily to align your heart with His, even when it's difficult. It's a relationship built on trust, love, and the quiet assurance that He is guiding your every step. This walk is marked by a peace that surpasses understanding, a joy that cannot be extinguished, and a deep sense of purpose that comes from knowing you are part of something far greater than yourself. Still, how do you know you're truly walking with Him? This question often lingers in the hearts of those seeking a deeper relationship with God. Are there markers, signs, or evidence that can reassure you that you're on the right path? The good news is, yes, there are clear signs. These are not just external behaviors, but internal shifts, the kind that Lewis himself often described in his writings. They are the fruits of a life intertwined with God's will, evidence of His Spirit working within you. Lewis's own journey provides a blueprint for recognizing these signs. He moved from a place of skepticism and self-reliance to one of faith, surrender, and trust. His writings offer a window into the transformation that occurs when someone opens their heart to God. He wrote candidly about the challenges, but also about the unmistakable joy and freedom that come from walking in step with the Creator. Through his words, we are reminded that walking with God is not about achieving a specific spiritual status, but about becoming more attuned to His presence in every moment. In this exploration, we will delve into 7 clear signs that you are walking with God, drawing deeply from the wisdom of Scripture and Lewis's timeless insights. These signs are not rigid checklists, but rather guideposts, reminders of the ways God works in and through us. They illuminate the path of spiritual growth and offer reassurance to those who may feel uncertain about their journey. As we embark on this reflection together, let us keep in mind Lewis's words. God cannot give us a happiness and peace apart from Himself, because it is not there. There is no such thing, true joy, peace, and fulfillment can only be found in Him. And walking with God is the journey toward discovering that ultimate truth. Walking with God is not merely about external appearances or superficial behaviors. It is a profound inner transformation that changes how you think, feel, and act. Each sign of walking with God is a reflection of His work within you, shaping your heart and life to mirror His love and truth. Let us dive deeply into each of these 7 signs, unpacking their meaning and how they reveal your relationship with the divine. 1. A growing hunger for God's presence. One of the clearest signs that you are walking with God is a deepening hunger for His presence. This desire is not something you manufacture. It is a response to God's love drawing you closer to Him. As C.S. Lewis so beautifully put it in Mere Christianity, "If I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world." This longing is a spiritual instinct, a recognition that only God can truly satisfy your soul. When you walk with God, you begin to seek Him in ways you never did before. Time spent in prayer, reading scripture, or simply sitting quietly in His presence becomes a source of joy rather than a chore. You might find yourself waking up eager to talk with Him or craving moments of solitude where you can reflect on His goodness. This hunger is not about rituals or routines. It's about relationship. Consider Psalm 84 verse 10. "Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere." This verse captures the heart of someone who is walking with God, a person who would trade the pleasures of the world for even a moment in His presence. If you feel this longing stirring within you, it is evidence of His Spirit working in your life, drawing you deeper into intimacy with Him. 2. A changed perspective on challenges. Life is full of trials, and no one is immune to difficulties. However, walking with God changes the way you perceive and respond to challenges. Instead of seeing hardships as obstacles or punishments, you begin to view them as opportunities for growth and trust in God. C.S. Lewis captured this truth in The Problem of Pain when he wrote, "Pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is His megaphone to rouse a deaf world." This perspective shift doesn't mean that challenges become easy or painless. Rather, it means that you trust in God's sovereignty, even when life feels overwhelming. You come to understand that trials can be a refining fire, a tool that God uses to strengthen your faith and shape your character. James 1, verse 2-4 echoes this truth. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Walking with God gives you the courage to face difficulties with hope and resilience. You may still grieve or struggle, but deep down, there is a peace that comes from knowing God is in control. You begin to see how He uses even the hardest moments to bring about good, both in your life and in the lives of others. This ability to trust Him in the midst of uncertainty is a powerful sign of His presence guiding your steps. 3. A heart that reflects God's love. When you walk with God, His love begins to transform your heart. This transformation is not about trying harder to love others. It's about allowing His Spirit to change you from the inside out. C.S. Lewis explored this idea in The Four Loves, where he distinguished between natural human love and the divine love, or agape, that comes from God. He explained that this selfless love is not something we generate on our own. It is a reflection of God's love flowing through us. This kind of love is revolutionary. It enables you to forgive those who have wronged you, to extend compassion to those who are difficult to love, and to put others' needs before your own. Jesus set the ultimate example of this love when He washed the feet of His disciples, even knowing that one of them would betray Him. In John 13 verse 34, He said, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." As you walk with God, You might notice changes in the way you interact with people. You may find yourself becoming more patient, more willing to listen, and more eager to serve. This doesn't mean you won't occasionally struggle with selfishness or frustration, but it does mean that your heart is being molded to reflect His. This transformation is one of the clearest signs that you are walking in step with Him. 4. A deep sense of peace amid uncertainty. Peace is one of the most profound gifts that comes from walking with God. This peace is not dependent on circumstances. It is the quiet assurance that God is in control, even when life feels chaotic. Philippians 4 verse 7 describes it as the peace of God, which transcends all understanding. It is a supernatural calm that steadies your heart and mind, allowing you to navigate life's storms with grace. C.S. Lewis often spoke about this peace in his writings. In Mere Christianity, he described how surrendering to God brings a sense of freedom and rest. When we let Him have His way, we can finally begin to be fully ourselves, he wrote. This surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that His plans are better than ours, even when we don't understand them. When you are walking with God, this peace becomes a defining feature of your life. You may still face fears and uncertainties, but they no longer control you. Instead, you rest in the promise that God is working all things together for your good. Romans 8 verse 28. This peace is a powerful witness to others, showing them the strength and hope that come from trusting Him. 5. An alignment of your desires with God's will. As you walk with God, your desires and priorities begin to change. What once seemed important, such as wealth, status, or personal ambition, starts to pale in comparison to the joy of seeking His will. This shift is not forced. It is a natural outgrowth of spending time in His presence. In The Weight of Glory, Lewis observed, "We are far too easily pleased. Like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea." Walking with God opens your eyes to the holiday at the sea. You begin to desire what He desires: justice, mercy, kindness, and truth. Your ambitions align with His kingdom purposes, and you find joy in serving others and glorifying Him. This realignment is a sign of spiritual maturity and a testament to the transformative power of His Spirit in your life. 6. A desire to share His goodness with others. When you experience the joy of walking with God, you naturally want to share it with others. This desire comes not from obligation, but from an overflow of gratitude. C.S. Lewis likened this sharing to the way we recommend a great book or a beautiful song. I think we delight to praise what we enjoy, because the praise not merely expresses, but completes the enjoyment. This sharing doesn't always take the form of preaching or formal evangelism. Often, it is the quiet witness of your life that speaks the loudest. Your kindness, generosity, and integrity become a reflection of God's love. As Jesus said in Matthew 5 verse 16, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." 7. A spirit of humility and gratitude. Finally, walking with God produces a spirit of humility and gratitude. You become deeply aware of your dependence on Him and His grace in your life. Lewis famously defined humility as thinking less of yourself, but as thinking of yourself less. This humility allows you to serve others selflessly and to recognize that every blessing in your life is a gift from God. Gratitude flows naturally from this humility. As you walk with God, you begin to see His hand in every aspect of your life, the big moments and the small details. This attitude of thankfulness brings joy and contentment, reminding you of His faithfulness and love. Walking with God is a journey, not a destination, a dynamic and evolving relationship that grows deeper over time. The signs we've explored: hunger for His presence, a changed perspective on challenges, a heart that reflects His love, peace amid uncertainty, alignment with His will, a desire to share His goodness, and a spirit of humility and gratitude serve as guideposts, reminding us of His active presence in our lives. These markers are not about perfection or performance, but about progress and transformation as God works within you. C.S. Lewis, in his characteristic wisdom, reminds us that walking with God is not about earning His favor, but about responding to His love. Christ wants a child's heart, but a grown-up's head, he wrote in Mere Christianity. He wants us to be simple, single-minded, affectionate, and teachable, as good children are. But He also wants every bit of intelligence. We have to be alert at its job, and in first-class fighting trim. This balance of childlike trust and intentional pursuit underscores the beauty of walking with God. It is important to remember that walking with God does not mean a life free of struggles or mistakes. It is not a path of unbroken perfection, but one of grace, where God continually picks us up when we stumble and strengthens us for the journey ahead. Each step you take, no matter how small, is significant to Him. As Lewis said, every time you make a choice, you are turning the central part of you, the part of you that chooses, into something a little different from what it was before. If you've identified these signs in your own life, take heart. They are evidence of God's faithfulness and His commitment to finishing the good work He began in you. Philippians 1 verse 6. And if you feel unsure or distant, know that it's never too late to turn back to Him. God is always ready to walk with you, meeting you right where you are and leading you toward His purpose. As you reflect on this journey, be encouraged by the words of Psalm 37 verse 23 to 24. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in Him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with His hand. No matter where you are on the path, God's hand is extended toward you, offering guidance, strength, and the assurance that you are never walking alone. Let this reflection be a source of hope and inspiration. Continue seeking Him, trusting that He is always near, and rejoice in the knowledge that walking with God is the greatest adventure you will ever embark on. As C.S. Lewis so beautifully put it, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. Walking with God is the most fulfilling journey you can undertake, a path that transforms your heart, renews your mind, and strengthens your spirit. The signs we've explored remind us of God's active presence in our lives, guiding us toward His purpose and filling us with His peace, love, and grace. Let these truths inspire you to draw even closer to Him, trusting in His plan and embracing the joy that comes from walking with Him every day. If this message has touched your heart, I encourage you to take a moment to respond. Show your support by subscribing to this channel for more spiritual guidance and uplifting content. Don't forget to like this video as a declaration of your faith and commitment to living in harmony with Christ. I also invite you to write Amen in the comments section below as a sign of your devotion to God and your desire to walk with Him. Your words of affirmation can inspire and encourage others in this community of faith. Finally, think of someone in your life who may need this message, a friend, a family member, or someone who is searching for a hope. Share this video with them so they too can find encouragement and strength in God's Word. You never know how much your simple act of sharing could make a difference in someone's life. May God bless you richly as you continue this journey with Him. Remember, He walks with you always, leading you into His perfect peace and purpose. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to walking this path of faith together. Amen.